हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू अवर चैनल पटेल एकेडमी। हम कंटिन्यूटी के क्वेश्चन देख रहे थे। उसमें नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है फाइंड ए एंड बी फंक्शन इज दिस इज कंटिन्यूअस एट x इक्वल टू 1। नाउ फंक्शन से इट इज कंटिन्यूअस एट x इक्वल टू 1, देन वी कैन से दैट लिमिट x टेंड्स टू 1 fx is equal to limit x tends to 1 plus fx is equal to limit x tends to 1 minus fx. You know this, yes? Now we can find the value at x equal to 1, x tends to 1 plus and x tends to 1 minus. Now solve this all three and find a and b. Okay, got it? So now let limit x tends to 1 fx is equal to what? 11. Now we can solve x tends to 1 plus and x tends to 1 minus. Limit x tends to 1 plus fx value of fx at x tends to 1 plus is this, x tends to 1 plus, the value of fx, the function is this, at x tends to 1 plus, the function is this. Now put the value of fx here, so 3ax plus b. Now इससे पहले मैंने बताया था, देखो इसके बाद क्या करना है हमको, लिमिट जहां x है, अब क्या करना है मुझे, h टेंड्स टू 0, जहां x है वहां क्या करना है, 1 प्लस h रखना है, क्या रखना है, 1 प्लस h। तो नाउ 3a 1, यहाँ पे 1 है तो 1 प्लस h, और यहाँ पे 1 प्लस इसलिए प्लस करा है हमने, प्लस b। नाउ सॉल्व इट, लिमिट h टेंड्स टू 0, 3a plus 3ah plus b. Now put the limit in this function, so we can find out 3a plus b. Okay, now solve for x tends to 1 minus, limit x tends to 1 minus fx, value at x tends to 1 minus is this. Now put the value of fx here, 5ax minus 2b. Now h tends to 1, h tends to 0. Here put the value of x as a 1 minus h, 5a 1 minus h minus 2b. Okay, now solve it, limit h tends to 0, 5a minus 5ah minus 2b. So this function is simple. Now put the value of limit h tends to 0, then we can get 5a minus 2b. So we know x tends to 1, x tends to 1 plus and x tends to 1 minus, all three values are equal. So this is equation first, this is equation second, and this is equation third. From equation first, second, here from equation first and second 3a plus b is equal to 11. Okay, this one is one equation, and from first and third 5a minus 2b is equal to 11. Can we solve this two equation? We can solve this two equation. इसको name just 4, name just 5. Now from 4 and 5, and then this is minus 3b. We can multiply by 2 to 6a plus 2b is equal to 22 minus 5a minus 2b. Then we can plus is equal to 11. So solve it. A is equal to 3. Now a is equal to 3, then we can put in equation 4 and find a is equal to 3. Then we can say a is equal to 2. Got it? Now this question, fx is this, find a function is continuous at x equal to 2, ठीक है, and discuss continuity at x equal to 3. x equal to 3 पे हमको continuity डिस्कस करनी है और फंक्शन कंटीन्यूअस है x equal to 2 पर फाइंड a करना है, ठीक है। अच्छा, तो फंक्शन कंटीन्यूअस है तो सिंपल एक स्टेप लिखनी है हमको, क्या लिखना है, लिमिट x टेंड्स टू 2 fx इज इक्वल टू लिमिट x टेंड्स टू 2 प्लस fx इज इक्वल टू लिमिट x tends to 2 minus fx. Now we can solve for x tends to 2, x tends to 2 plus and x tends to 2 minus and equate it and find a. Okay. Now limit x tends to 2 fx is equal to a. Got it? And we can find limit x tends to 2 plus fx is equal to x tends to 2 plus function is this, x tends to 2 plus function is this x plus 1. Now so put the value of function here is x plus 1. Now we can write as x tends to 0 and here we can put 2 plus h plus 1. Okay, now solve it. Limit s tends to 0, 2 plus 1 3 plus h and put the limit h tends to 0, so we find 3. At x tends to 2 plus value is 3. Now solve for limit s tends to 2 minus fx is equal to limit x tends to 2 minus and put the value of function. Function is this 2x minus 1. Now put h tends to 0 and solve for this 2. Here we can put 2 minus h minus 1. Now solve it. Limit h tends to 0, 4 minus 2h minus 1. This is equal to 3 minus 2h. Limit h tends to 0. Now put the limit and we can find 3. So it x tends to 2 plus 3, h tends to 2 minus 3 and limit h tends to 2 is equal to a. Now from equation first, second, third we can find the result only these two equation, because these two are is equal to equal, but we can check by the third equation this. Now from equation first and second, a is equal to 3. Got it? Yes. Now discuss the continuity at x equal to 3. So x equal to 3, the function is this, because x is greater than 2, the function is this, so 3 is after 2, so the function is x plus 1. So now continuity at x equal to 3. So limit x tends to 3 fx is equal to x plus 1. You got it from this, because 3 is greater than 2, so the function is this x plus 1. And we can also say that limit x tends to 3 plus. Now x tends to 3 is this, x tends to 3 plus is what, x tends to 3 plus is this function, also this same function. So limit x tends to 3 plus is equal to also x plus 1. And we can also know limit x tends to 3 minus is what, 3 minus. Now understand, x tends to 3 is this, x tends to 3 minus is this function is less than 2, this function is greater than 2, so we find x tends to 3 minus less than 3 is this, because this is less than 2, this may be possibilities less than 3, so that's why this function is less than 3. So function value is x plus 1. So from the this we can it extends to 3, x 3 plus and 3 minus. All three values are same. So we can say that function is continuous at x is equal to 3. Function is continuous at x equal to 3. Got it? Next question. Now function is this. Find a and b. Function is continuous. Now we are not given at which point function is continuous. So we understood that function is always continuous at a point which are given in a function. 2 and 5 are there. So function is continuous at 2 and 5. Got it? So now we can write as a function is continuous. So it is continuous at x is equal to 2 or 5. 2 and 5. Okay? Yes. Now we can solve for x is equal to 2 and x equal to 5 and find a and b. So function is continuous. Function is continuous at x equal to 2. We can write as a limit s tends to 2 fx is equal to limit x tends to 2 plus fx is equal to limit x tends to 2 minus. Put it, and we can say that x tends to less than equal to 2, function is this. Greater than 2, function is this. So less than equal to is same. Less than equal to same. These two functions are same, x plus 2. Now we can solve for x tends to 2 and x tends to 2 plus. These two functions solve and find one equation. So we can write x tends to 2 fx. Function is x tends to 2. Function is x plus 2. Put the value of fx x plus 2. Now x tends to 2. Put here and we can get 4. Okay. And solve for x tends to 2 plus. Limit x tends to 2 plus. Function is what? Firstly we can write fx and then we can write x tends to 2 plus ax plus b. Okay. Now we can write here x tends to 2 plus h tends to 0 a. Here we can write 2 plus h plus b. So limit h tends to 0 2a plus ah plus b. Now we can write we can put the limit as h tends to 0 and we get 2a plus b. Okay. Now these two equations are equal. Okay. We cannot solve for x less than 0 because x less than 2 because this equal to 2 and less than 2 have a same function. Got it? So these two values are same. This is equation first, this is equation second. So from first and second we got a one relation. 2a plus b is equal to 4. This is one relation. Equation third now solve for x is equal to 5. Function is continuous. Fx is continuous at x is equal to 5. So function is continuous x equal to 5. We can say x greater than equal to 5 is this function, same as. So we can write as a limit x tends to 5 fx is equal to limit x tends to 5 minus fx. These two are equal. Plus we cannot write as a x tends to plus because greater than equal to have a same value. So we can solve for this two. Limit x tends to 5 fx is equal to, the value of fx is this 3x plus 2. So we can write as a x tends to 5 3x minus 2. Now put the value of x. So we got 15 minus 2, 13. We got 13. Okay. Now solve for x tends to 5 minus. Limit x tends to 5 minus fx. You got it? Huh? X tends to 5 minus function is what? Function is this ax plus b. So we can write x tends to 5 minus function is ax plus b. Ax plus b. So we can write as here, see, h tends to 0, a. We can write 5 minus h because x tends to 5 minus plus 5. Limit h tends to 0, 5a minus ah plus 5. So we can put h tends to 0 and we got 5a plus 5. 5a plus 5. Okay. Sorry. 5a plus 5. 5a plus 5. Okay. So this is equal to this. So we get another relation 5a plus 5 is equal to 13. We got two relations. This equation third and this equation is 4. This two equations solve it and find the a and b. We can solve it easily. 5a plus 5. Here 5a is equal to the h tends to 5 plus a plus b. Yes, sorry, a b है. Here is b. Out of 5, b. So these two equations are there. We can subtract equation third from fourth. Subtract. Yeah, we can subtract equation third from fourth, and we can find as 3a is equal to 9 and got a is equal to 3. When a is equal to 3, then it is 6 minus b is equal to minus 2. We got this two relation, a is equal to 3 and b is equal to minus 2. Then we can solve this simply way. Now once I explain briefly, function is continuous, find a and b. So function is continuous, so we can assume as a function is continuous at x equal to 2 and 5. So for x equal to 2, we solve it and got a one relation. And another time when we find function is continuous at x equal to 5. So solve for the x equal to 5 and we got another relation. By this two relation, we solve it and got x equal to 3 and b is equal to minus 2. Okay. Next question. Now we have a question. Function is this. Find k. Function is continuous at x equal to 0. Function continuous x equal to 0. Find k. Okay, simple. So we can write as a function is continuous. That's why we can write x tends to 0 fx is equal to limit x tends to 0 plus fx is equal to limit x tends to 0 minus fx. Okay. Now x is less than equal to 0. Have a same function. Less than and equal to have a same value, then we can solve only for x equal to 0 and x tends to 0 plus this two and solve for this two and equate and find a. Simple, got it? Yeah. Now limit x tends to 0 plus fx is equal to limit x tends to 0. Function is what? Less than equal to this. So function is k x square plus 2. Now x equal to 0 here put and we go to k plus, sorry, we get 2k. Okay, 2k. So x tends to 0, we get 2k. Solve for x tends to 2 plus limit x tends to 2 0 plus fx is equal to the function at x tends to 2 plus. 2 plus is what? This function is this. So we can write as function 3x plus 1. And now we can write as a limit s tends to 0 and here we can put 0 plus h. What? 0 plus h. Because x tends to 0 plus 1. Here limit h tends to 0, 3h plus 1. Now this function simplifies, so put the limit and go to x is equal to 1. X tends to 0 plus function is 1. Or x tends to 0 function is this. Now this and this have a same value, equate this and we got 2k plus 1 and k is equal to 1 by 2 answer. And another question is there, you discuss continuity at x equal to 1. So now we can write continuity at x equal to 1. So we can write limit x tends to 1, fx is what? X tends to 1. It is greater than 0, then 1 is greater than 0. This function is greater than 0. So at x tends to 1, function is this. X tends to 1, function is 3x plus 1. Limit x tends to 1 plus fx. Now we can see here x tends to 0. X is greater than 0, function is this. We require x tends to 1 plus. So x tends to 1 plus, function is this. Because 1 plus 2 plus, the x is greater than 0. This, so 1 plus is this function. 3x plus 1. Now we write x tends to 1 minus fx. We can see here this function is less than 0. We require 1 minus just less than 1. Just less than 1 is this function. Because this is greater than 0, so this must be a 1. 1 minus means just less than 1. So this function is less than 0. This is not 1 minus, but this may be 1 minus. So function is 3x plus 1. So it x tends to 1 plus 1 plus 1 minus. All three values are the same. So function is continuous at x equal to 1. We can write as a function is continuous at x equal to 1. Okay, got it? Any doubt, you can comment me. I will try to give a best reply to all of you. Okay, thank you very much.